Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We're streaming live in three destinations, actually, on Shagalinku TV Facebook page, on Shagalinku TV YouTube page, and also on my personal page, Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari. This is welcoming you to a very special edition of Shagalinku TV because we'll be looking at a whole lot of issues surrounding menstrual hygiene. The month of May is also known as the Menstrual Hygiene Month, and that's why we're taking our time to do this discussion, create awareness, and commemorate with young women and girls to also let them know that we are with them in their struggle. My name is Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari, and this is welcoming you to the show. For those of you who've seen the flyers, of course, you know that I won't be doing the show alone. I have two very wonderful, intelligent, and beautiful ladies here to join me to do this today. I'll let them come in now and welcome them and then ask them to introduce themselves one after the other. If there was a man and a woman, I would have said ladies first, but then I have two beautiful ladies. So who goes first? So let me start
Madonna.
with Madonna. Oh, let, let me start with
Hello
Madonna.
everyone. Hello everyone. Can you all hear me?
Yes,
I
we
guess
can.
so. I am very, very excited to be here on Shagalinku TV. I've seen a lot of amazing people that have been on this platform, so it is an honor to be here to speak on something I'm very, very passionate about, which is menstruation, menstrual hygiene, and menstrual hygiene management. I hope that throughout the course of this conversation, we would discuss about things that are concerning us on menstruation, and I'll be able to answer all your questions. Very nice to be here.
Wow. Thank you so much, Madonna. So we'll come to Rachel. Rachel, tell us more about yourself, what you do, and then we'll take up the discussions from there.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Idim Rachel. I work with BrenCare Foundation, a non-governmental organization that's based in Calabar, Cross River State. That's focused on um, that's focused on providing young people and women information about their sexual and reproductive health and rights in order for them to make informed choices about their life. We also have key focus area on menstruation. I've been promoting menstrual hygiene management for the past 5 years, and also to train girls how to make the reusable sanitary pad, because right now pad are very, very well expensive, but with the eco-friendly pad, which is the reusable sanitary pad, girls are able to manage their menstruation effectively. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rachel. So, for our viewers, if you want to join us, drop your comments in the comment section, either on YouTube and on Facebook. We're already getting a message from one of our regular viewer from the United States of America. His name is Professor Leroy
Wow.
Fraser. It says, I support women's health. I am happy to join the conversation and learn. Thank you so much, Prof. It's good to know you're joining us all the way from the United States of America. He's always very regular on the show, except he doesn't get to remember or see the flyer. So for all of you out there, drop your comments. Remember, you have to give permission for your comments to be published. So sometimes people drop their comments and forget to click on the permission. If you don't permit, it won't pop up on the screen for us to see and read. If you have questions for Rachel or Madonna, please put it also on the comment section here, just like Professor Leroy did from US, and then we'll read it. And also do let us know where you're watching us from, and we'll take it up from there. Okay, so let me come to both of you. What is menstruation? A lot of times, sadly, even our mothers that we think they know about menstruation still find it a little zilliant to talk about. You know, the African mother will not want to take her time and educate her female children on menstruation, the hygiene, and all of that. But basically, in a few words, what can both of you say about menstruation for our first time viewers who might just want to know? Let me start with Madonna.
Okay, so quite simply, menstruation is the monthly flow of blood from the uterus through the vagina. That is very simply. But this before menstruation occurs, there are a lot of things that go on in the human's body. An egg is released from the ovary and moves to the uterus, waiting for fertilization by the sperm. When that doesn't happen, the egg sheds, the uterus sheds its lining and the egg breaks and it comes out as menstruation. So it's very normal, and this goes on for our cycle. That's what we call ovulation. The egg is released, the egg waits for fertilization. Fertilization doesn't occur, and then it releases itself. But if fertilization occurs, that's when a baby now starts growing. That's how reproduction takes place. But if fertilization doesn't occur, then the egg would expel itself. So quite simply, it's very, very simple.
Okay, thank you for that explanation because we really need to do this. Sometimes we assume that even the young girls know what it is, especially in the villages.
Yeah.
You find young girls
Yeah.
who they rush to their parents and say they are bleeding and they are scared
Yeah.
and all of that. So let me come to Rachel. While we still talk about menstruation, I always tell young girls that it's nothing to be very ashamed of because when you make up your mind to know that it's in, you take the quicker route of saying, I have to learn to deal with this for the rest of my life or till I get to menopause and all of that. What are you scared that young people are also not knowing about menstruation before we even come to menstrual hygiene and menstrual health that I'll ask both of you to also talk about? Rachel.
All right, the fact that my menstruation is natural and is healthy, because most people think it's a taboo. Oh, don't talk about it. It's not healthy to talk about menstruation. It's something is devilish. It's not given from God. But I want people to know that it's a biological process. It means you're not mature enough to give birth. It's a reproductive stage for women and girls, and it's normal. It's healthy. It's a natural process. As women and girls, we should also express ourselves, talk about menstruation without fear, without discrimination, without stigmatization, because it's a natural process for both women and girls.
Thank you so much for that. We got another message here from another very regular, Juliana. So, Madonna, if you can see it, I'd like you to read this and then we take it up from there.
Okay, Juliana says, healthy women lifestyle, especially during menstruation, gives confidence. My niece loves spending time in my house during menstruation because she gets to use a quality pad. Her first menstruation was in my house, and I had to call her parents
Oh,
with excitement. Wow, that's such a
wow.
lovely and
Yeah.
positive message.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I think I'd also like us to talk about that a little before we even come to menstrual health, because I was even saying when we started the show that even our African mothers, are scared
Yeah.
of talking about it. So it's a good thing Juliana brought that up. So, Rachel, how do we also begin to encourage young girls to feel free to talk to even older women about it? Because I'm sure for Juliana, her niece, she said, right? Niece or cousin.
Yes.
Yeah, she
Yes.
said her niece.
Niece.
Her niece, for her niece to always love to come to stay with her every time her circle comes, it shows that she's freer with her. She's more comfortable to open up to her. So, Rachel, how do we begin to let older women make younger girls comfortable to speak out in terms of their menstrual health to them?
All right. By creating awareness in churches, community projects. Currently, I'm in a community here in Cross River State, Iyala, Opoma, and I've done two community projects. And I've been to Opoma community, I've been to Ijiraga community, and we are here to talk to women in this community, not just students. We're talking to women like grandmothers, mothers, aunties, about menstruation, encouraging them on the need to talk to their younger ones about menstruation, because it all starts from the home. If you get a very wrong information from home, it's going to affect you for the rest of your life. So talking to those women in rural communities, especially rural communities, about menstruation, trying to bring to light the fact that it's a natural, normal process, and also some of the myths these women already have from past ancient generation, trying to correct it and talk to them about recent research about menstruation. We hope to also enable young persons get correct information about menstruation. And I also think about we have antenatal where we pregnant women go for antenatals. If they can include menstrual health and hygiene management lectures during antenatal, it's really going to help, because parents can access correct information to give back to their children. Also, we have PTA meetings at schools. If schools can also have sections with parents where they can talk about issues that affect their young ones, their girl child, their boy child, talk about menstruation freely in school. Parents will also be able to transfer this knowledge which they get from PTA meetings, with parent teachers association meetings, to their children at home. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rachel, for that. I'll come to Madonna to also tell us a little more about what menstrual health is. But this is also to say, in case you just joined us, is the special edition of Shagalinku TV, and I have two beautiful ladies here with me to talk about menstrual health, the stigma, the taboo, the myths, and all of that surrounding menstrual health and menstrual hygiene. You can drop your comments here under the box in the comment section, but remember you have to give permission for us to see, to read. Some people just drop their comments and then they go away. If you don't also click on the permission button, it won't pop up on the screen for us to see it and read. If you have questions for my guests, Rachel and Madonna, do drop your comments there. If you even have any comment you want to say about menstrual hygiene, about myths you've heard, about taboos and some things you've heard before. There's a culture in some African countries where they say if you want to be rich, you have to sleep with a virgin on her first menstrual flow. So much has been happening, a lot of myths and all of that. Very crazy things happening that they will be unraveling for us as well. And also to let you know that the videos will also be here after the broadcast, so you can still go back and watch. So let me come back to Madonna to talk a little more about menstrual health, and then I will ask Rachel to tell us more about the stigma surrounding period and all of that, and then period poverty that sometimes people talk about, but people don't know that it is real, not just in the rural areas. Even as big as urban cities are, you find girls and women who can't even afford sanitary pads. So Madonna, I'll quickly ask Rachel to read this message from Juliana, and then I'll come back to Madonna and let's talk more.
Okay, so Juliana said, what can you say about the Muslim who stopped her fasting process once she sees her menstruation?
Okay. So we'll come back and answer that, Juliana, but let me quickly let Madonna respond to what menstrual health is, and then we'll take it up from there.
Okay, thank you. So, menstrual health, simply put, are those things that you can do to manage your menstruation, things to do during your menstruation. Um, Simply, it's about the number of times you change your pad, about the health, the food you eat, the intake, the way, your level of stress, and if you have the proper facilities to help you during menstruation. It's not only about menstrual hygiene management. It's not only about the body, right? It's like the woman that is menstruating. As professionals, we always look at the other surrounding factors that can contribute to hindering that woman's menstrual hygiene. For example, if I am menstruating and I don't have access to good water, to water to wash myself, water to wash my clothes, it's going to hinder my menstrual hygiene. If, for example, for us that go to work, that are working and are schooling, we don't have proper facilities that would give privacy for women to change their pads. That can also hinder menstrual hygiene management. And we can also see it in the fact that many girls, young girls, are missing school. Young girls are most times leaving work, because I know of a friend that has to leave her office back home and then come back. So all those things are what makes up menstrual hygiene management. All the things that can help you as a woman to experience your menstruation in a safe and healthy and hygienic way.
Thank you about that. Some messages are here on the text line, and I'll quickly just read a few of them, and then you can respond. This one is from Tonya. Tonya says, hi, I'm watching you live from Johannesburg. I'd like to send a shout out to your guests in the studios. It's a beautiful and amazing discussions you guys are having. How is it like with African girls? Because sometimes when I go to villages in South Africa, I still see girls struggling with menstrual commodities and all of that. Okay, Tonya, some things you said here, I can't, they're not complete, so maybe you might still send your message. But did you get the,
Yeah,
you
yes.
understand what she said about menstrual something
Yes,
commodity or,
yes.
yeah.
Yes,
So any
yes,
of you
yes,
would want
yes.
to respond to that before we go on?
Yes.
Okay. So in Nigeria right now, sanitary pads are considered gold because of how expensive they are. For people, it's worse for women and girls who are below the economic um, line. And we know that Nigeria is a country that is battling with poverty. People earn less than $1. People feed on less than $1 a day. So from what we do, it's a very big problem. But the solutions that we have come up with is substituting sanitary pads with other type of also sanitary materials that can help. And like Rachel said at the beginning, reusable pads, they are life changing. For example, I'm a trained reusable pad trainer, and I go to communities, teach them how to make the reusable pads with easily accessible materials, things they can buy from their local markets and are still sanitary, and they can use that. And also, we have menstrual cups, even though those are not really used by everyone because awareness and sensitization is still far behind on menstrual cups. But menstrual cups are also a very good way to substitute for sanitary pads, which are very expensive. But truly, most other girls still don't really have this information because it's not widespread as it is, and that makes them sometimes use other substitute for other materials which are unhygienic, like rags, tissue papers, um, and some even like a community I went to, they said banana leaves. So yes, it's a very big problem, and we are trying to solve it. And those are the solutions we are using. We're using reusable pad. We're using menstrual cups, and also to create awareness. In fact, we have been pushing for the government to make pads free, and we hope we'll get there someday.
Okay, so Rachel, what would you like to add to that?
All right. So presently, I'm working in a local community here in Cross River State, and hearing what these women and girls use to manage menstruation is really, really heartbreaking. Saying they use things like rag, use things like tissue, which you all know causes urinary tract infection and can also cause infertility. Is really, really heartbreaking. But we are training these women here in this rural community on how to make reusable sanitary pad from easy and affordable materials, and they are really picking it up and learning. And also it's also like they can also gain financial freedom from this material because they can make this part and also sell to other young girls in our local community. So it's also like a form of empowerment to this women. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Rachel. So let's even come to stigma. I like to ask two questions in one. Period
Okay.
stigma, and how does that even affect the girl child? Because, like I said when we started off, sometimes we need to tell these girls that it's either you're pregnant or you're menstruating. So you need to take,
Yes.
you need to build up your mind on time, because um, there's another thing that boys are using as a weakness for girls. So they tell them, rather than you bleed for that long every month, why don't we just do this? And then, so the girl forgets to understand that when you do that and you are not menstruating, you're automatically pregnant. And
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
it's another challenge on its own, because being pregnant, you're not married, you are supposed to be in school, that drops you out. The boy who sweet talked you into all of that is still in school, and Nigeria hasn't gotten to that point where girls who get pregnant and deliver can continue education. We're still grappling and grappling with all of
Mm.
that. So, what
Yes.
do we have to do now about stigma when it comes to period?
All right.
Rachel?
So for
Mm.
not okay. Let's look at what is period stigma first, because I believe some of the viewers don't even understand the term period stigma. So when we talk about period stigma here, we're looking at the broad terms for discrimination faced by those who menstruate, and it's manifested in the way people talk about or don't talk about menstruation, talk about menstrual period, and the use of passive words like red coats, anti-flow, that time of the month, monthly flow. They are all words that should not be used. The right word is menstruation, menses, cycle, period, and not using sweet words to coin it because we are scared of, oh, I don't want to talk about it. I'm scared or they'll stigmatize me. It's dirty. It's not. It's a taboo. And I think talking to young boys and girls, including males, and in our program is very, very key. It's very key to include males in all programs that concern girls because menstruation is not just a girl matter. I know people, it's girls face it, yes, we all believe it's all girls stuff, but it's not only about girls. It affects the boy child too. It's a reproductive process for women and girls. So males should be included in all programs planning for menstrual hygiene management in Nigeria and outside Nigeria. If males have adequate information about menstruation, they won't laugh at girls. I went to a program, as I said before, I'm working in a program right now in a local government area in Cross River State, and had a school program few days ago and I asked them about menstruation, and they were saying, oh, it's shameful. When girls get stain at school, we should laugh at them. It means she has committed abortion. So imagine a boy growing up with this. These are children that are between 10 to 12 years old, growing up with this perception about menstruation that, oh, it's a taboo. So when a girl gets stain at school, it means she has committed abortion. So it's worth laughing at. You should actually ask them, how, what if a girl gets in school? What are you going to do? They say, auntie, we are going to laugh at the boy, like at the girl. It means she has committed abortion. It's really, really heartbreaking. We really need to go. Parents need to do more than what they are doing right now. I won't say mothers. It's not a mother responsibility to take care of the children. It's everyone's responsibility, starting from the family, the society, the church. We have to provide these young people with adequate information about our sexual and reproductive health and rights is very, very key. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You really touched on that, and it's crazy how even girls don't support girls when it comes to all of this. Because I remember those years, my grandmother would say when a woman is about delivering in a market square in a very public place, you find women bring out their wrapper and they cover the whole place. You find women being like the quick midwives. They just quickly do all of that immediately and then take the woman to the nearest hospital or maternity and all of that. And I think more girls also need to be there for fellow girls as well, rush them to a safe place where they can get them something to use, than just allow the boys also mock at them. I'll come to you, Madonna, to talk about how this ties down to human rights, because sometimes we also don't understand that, when people plan things, women and girls are always at the bottom of such plans, be it economical and in terms of education and all of that. So I'd like you to answer two questions in one. How do we begin to see menstruation as a human rights issue, and also looking at people with disability? Because I say it's a tedious job being an African girl. It's double tedious being a Nigerian girl, and then it's triple tedious being a girl with disability. With disability. So please let our viewers know more about menstruation and as it relates to human rights.
All right. So women's. Let me start from the broad. Menstruation is part of our sexual and reproductive health and rights. That is how we take care of our menstruation also affects our reproductive organs and how we're going to reproduce on our reproductive rights and our reproductive health. So access to menstruation and access to proper menstrual hygiene facilities and products is part of our menstrual health and menstrual rights. But what I'm going to enforce on is the exclusion of women in public spaces due to their menstruation. For example, in some places, they say if you're menstruating, you don't go here. You don't even eat food, like you don't touch food because the food would go bad. And like I also said at the beginning, when young girls are being have to excuse themselves and miss school, miss classes due to their menstruation. All of these are depriving them of their fundamental human rights. That is, for, rights to inclusion, rights to education, and the rest of them. So that is how menstruation can be tied to human rights. And also, when it comes to people with disabilities, like I said, it's like you said, you couldn't have said it better. It's triple the fight, because now people with disabilities may not have the facility to take care of themselves by themselves, and there are no laid down structures that can help them to achieve good, proper menstrual hygiene management. For example, if in a school, if the school has provided first a toilet facility for girls to change their menstruation, is the facility disability friendly? Often, more than often, it is not. So the girl, even if it's there, she cannot access it, and that is a deprivation of one of her rights. So what I've learned throughout the years is that SRHR is linked to everything we do. It's linked to our education, it's linked to the environment, it's linked to freedom, and the rest of them. And speaking of freedom, for a girl who doesn't have the right facilities to take care of her menstruation, if she's using like super pads, not using proper products, she won't be able to go anywhere, and she's confined to her home throughout the menstruation. That is for more than 3 to 5 days, and that is depriving her of her rights to freedom of movement. So that's how menstruation is linked to human rights. And also for people living with disabilities, the different issue, but also the same. So it's just about inclusion. When we are making these laws, when we're making these policies for young women, when we're advocating, we need to include all these things, knowing that they are interchangeable, they are linked up so much, they are interrelated, and we just have to find a way to solve all the issues as they come, so that we can have a total menstrual hygiene
Package.
management.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the fact you talked about the inclusivity or inclusivity. That word is always a jawbreaker for me. So I'll come to Rachel. Is there anything you really need to add into this angle of human rights? Because a lot of times girls are also feeling like a second-class citizen, and I tell them we can help you in everything, but the onus lies on you to stand your right and say, I'm menstruating and I'm proud of it. I mean, you should make it
Yeah.
fun, just as you make every other thing fun, because nothing comes easy. You get into a class, you see 50 male engineering students, and you see just one girl there, and she's feeling inadequate, she's feeling intimidated. So for a girl child, you need to constantly fight. So how do we begin to boost the morale of a female child to know that your human rights can only be assessed by you if you have that power too? So how do we begin to do that, Rachel?
All right. One key way of doing this is creating awareness. Many girls don't know that menstruation is a normal process, it's healthy, it's natural. So there's need for continuous awareness, continuous information. Providing these young girls with the right information enable them to make informed choices. So I watched this TV series, Best Friend in the World, and this girl got staring in class, and her classmates were laughing. I was expecting her to feel shy like the normal Nigerian movie will act, but they added something different in that particular episode. Like she actually picked up her parts. She didn't even wrap it, though. She just showed it up to her classmate and said, "Oh, it's a natural process." Like if girls can actually speak up about it in class, "Oh, I get staying in class and you're laughing at me. Why? It's natural. You shouldn't laugh at me. You should encourage me or support me." So if girls are able to speak up about this issue in class, "Oh, you get stained. Why are you shy? You stand in your seat because you don't want to stand up to go to the restroom to change yourself." It all begins with me. It all begins with all girls out there. So I want to encourage each and every girl out there to speak up, because menstruation is not a mess. Menstruation is normal. It's healthy. It's a natural biological process. It cannot be overemphasized. It's our reproductive right. It's our sexual right. You cannot take it away from us. It's our human right, just like Madonna said. It's linked to every aspect of us, right from right to education, right to this, not to be discriminated, right to gender equality, freedom of speech, freedom of movement. It's all about our human right. And it starts with us trying to take that right by force, because we really need to start speaking up about it. If we all keep silent about it, we will still be here. 2030, we are saying, oh, we want to make menstruation a normal fact of life by 2030. But we all need to be committed to this cause. And it starts with us, the women, the girls. The men and boys in our lives can always support us, but we need to take this fight ourselves. We need to tell ourselves, oh, we are ready that by 2030 we want to see sanitary pad being free. If not actually free, like free, at least they should reduce taxes. There should be no tax on menstrual products, and it should be made free for girls in school. Because if girls in school are missing schools because of menstruation, don't be able to be the future leaders of tomorrow, won't be able to break poverty. Because imagine a country where all the women are maybe they're suffering financial crisis. That country is really going to go down, because women are builders of the society. And all I want to encourage every woman out there, those in leadership position, to push this thing out, to speak up for all the women that are not able to speak up for themselves, especially those physically challenged persons, those with disability. There's need to include them in all our programs that we plan for menstrual hygiene, health, and management.
Thank you so much for that, Rachel. I'm really happy with the fact that we're doing this, lending our own voices as well to issues surrounding menstrual hygiene and menstrual health. And just to also let the viewers know that I'll be bringing them back again for a part two, because so many messages are here that I still can't read now. But when I bring them again, maybe on the 28th of May, which is also the World's Menstrual Hygiene Day or thereabouts, I don't know, we'll still tackle all of that issues. But we need to wrap up now in the next 5 minutes. But something that really occurred to me while we talked about the taboos and myths is the issue where so much is happening. I was even going to ask that question, but thank God Madonna talked about it, where there are places they don't let you go because they say a girl is menstruating at that time. Another thing we might quickly just look at before we touch a little on mental health is what culture is also playing, what religion is also pushing, because religion is also fueling a lot of some of these things. It will shock you even in modern life that there are churches a girl will not be allowed to go because she's menstruating, or when she comes to church, they will put her at the back seat and all of that. And for me, it's depressing. It's dehumanizing on itself. I mean, this is nature calling. It's not the girl's fault. I'm sure with the menstrual cramp and all of that, no girl will even want, if you ask her to choose, will you want another way of having your menses? She will be happy to do all of that. So for a girl going through that period, she needs understanding and segregating her and all of that. So can we quickly just talk about the place of mental health, the implications rather of mental health on girls when it comes to menstrual hygiene? What do you have to say about that as we wrap up? Madonna, let me start with you.
Okay, I'm so happy you mentioned culture, because culture is like one of the driving forces of discrimination against women and girls during menstruation. For example, in some countries, in some communities in India, you have to burn your clothes that you use during menstruation. You can't keep it. You're considered a bad luck for people to look at you, to see you during menstruation. And there are also some communities in the world where during menstruation, you don't enter the kitchen. You don't, that if somebody doesn't even bring water for you to drink in your room, you cannot enter the kitchen. So all of these things are very, very harmful. And if you see there is a thread where the person is being secluded from their family, their friends, just because of something natural happening to them, and that can lead to depression, lead to they're thinking, oh, why am I even a girl? And sometimes even leads to bad choices. Like you said, okay, I'd rather choose pregnancy than going through this, because since pregnancy is seen as the best option for some people, which it is not at all. So yes, if we keep discriminating and stigmatizing against girls who are menstruating, something that is as normal as menstruation, it can also lead to mental health issues. And alongside other societal issues, like for example, Rachel said a girl is menstruating and then people are laughing, you would feel sad, you would feel bad, and that's why we are conditioned to keep quiet, hide our pad. Even to buy pad in the shop is seen as a taboo. Like you tell them, I want that thing, instead of calling the name. So all of those things can lead to, you would be shy, you can be depressed, you can be underwhelming, like not want to really speak up about these issues. So yeah, it's a very, very strong problem that we need to really solve in our society.
Yeah, thank you so much, Madonna. So, Rachel, as you wrap up too on the mental health implications, could you quickly read this from our viewer in US, Professor Leroy, and then you respond?
All right, so Professor Lero said, this is great information. I understand better now how menstruation health is a human rights issue. Men need to know this. Oh, thank you very much. It's
Yes.
very, very nice to hear. Like, I'm very happy about it.
Okay, so what do you say? You all have 30 seconds to just wrap up. I know you didn't say anything on mental health, but you could quickly say something, then I'll come to Madonna to say her final words, and then you will also come back and say your final words. So, what angle of the mental health? I am worried as well because you go to hotels, they call me a troublemaker. You go to hotels, you see condoms in the drawers and all of that. And I call the receptionist and I'm like, why are there only condoms in the drawer? Don't you think you should have sanitary pads there too? They will not laugh. Okay, but you like trouble, oh, but you know, be woman now, you no need sanitary pad. I said, but what if a woman came in now and she forgot or didn't have hers, or her luggage was, missing in the airport and she couldn't come with one? I mean, the segregation is always too much. You're able to keep condoms for men, but you are not able to keep a sanitary pad. And then the next time I went to that hotel, I saw one there and they called me and said, okay, this time you know Calabar, start coming again. You know.
Wow.
That's
So,
good.
as a wrap up, what's your word for mental health implication?
All right. So, stigmatization has a lot of mental health effects on women and girls because it causes low self-esteem, low self-confidence. As I said before, imagine being in class and your classmates are laughing at you because you're state. Trust me, if I was in that girl's shoe, I would affect my educational like it will affect my grade throughout that time because I'll be so shy, I'll be so ashamed, I won't be able to speak up in class, I won't ask questions on areas I'm not clear in class. So it affects women and girls so well, like it affects their self-confidence, yes, it affects their self-esteem. So it makes them to have very low self-esteem. They keep to themselves, oh, they don't want to talk because, oh, I'm in my period, I shouldn't speak out, I shouldn't move to places. What if I get then what am I going to do? I'm talking about hotels not keeping sanitary pad for women and girls. I think it has to do with their policies. So they should come up with new policies. There should be new work policies and new school policies. Imagine getting stain at work. Oh, it has happened to me. Like, I don't want to explain how I felt that day. Like, it was really, really embarrassing. Then looking for where to go and get sanitary pad. Like, it's really, really, it can be very dramatic because you're not comfortable the whole day. You're like, oh God, what if I get stain? I can't even stand up from my desk to even go and answer my boss. Like, so there's need for us to do better, put policies in place. It's not enough saying, oh, we have males, females in our office, 50% females, 50% males. No. What are you doing? What step are you taking to ensure that women have safe spaces in your facilities, in your offices, in your environment? So to access menstrual hygiene and healthcare services, there should be sanitary pads in every toilet. Is our right. We don't need to overstress or ask for it. It makes us more comfortable and it makes more women more productive because if women get in at work and they don't have access to those menstrual products, it would make them to be unproductive throughout the whole day at work, and those companies offices that's going to lose money because of the less productivity of those women.
Thank you so much, Rachel. So, Madonna, as you wrap up now, please quickly read this message here, and then let's get your final words of.
Okay, that's actually my mom. Hi, mom. So, Frank Badom says, "Wow, this is beautiful, Rachel and Madonna. You are both killing it. Thank you so much, Ma. And for my closing remarks, I just want to urge everybody to be free to talk about menstruation. Please don't sugarcoat it. It's not, call it as it is. Speak to it, especially with your siblings, your friends, young girls. I had a very wonderful first menstruation, which is menarche, but many other girls didn't have that opportunity because they were so scared and they didn't know what was happening to them. So I urge you to speak about menstruation, please. Don't be shy. It's a natural process. And I also want us, each and every one, I'm charging you to do something about the menstrual hygiene management wherever you are. If you are a proprietor in a school, does your school have clean toilets that girls can access? If you're a worker in your office, ask your management, is there a toilet that the female staff can always access? And like Rachel said, putting these commodities at easily accessible places where a woman or girl can just pick it up and use during her menstruation. This would go a long, long way. As for the higher hierarchy, we would still continue to advocate for subsidized menstrual hygiene products and, if possible, free menstrual hygiene products and sanitary pads for everybody. Thank you so much for having us.
So yeah, thank you, Madonna. So quickly, Rachel, what's your final word of encouragement? But quickly read this one too from Frankie Bassi. Frankie Bassi is in Abuja, Nigeria. Ironically, she's a Sierra Leonean living in Nigeria. So
Wow.
read this.
So Frankie Bassi says, kudos Rachel and Madonna. You guys are just right. God bless. Oh, thank you very much. We appreciate
Thank
much love from us
you.
here. So for my final words, I want to keep encouraging women and girls out there to speak about menstruation. Use the right word. Either use menstruation, menses, period, cycle. There's nothing like anti-flu. There's nothing like that time of the month. There's nothing like, oh, monthly vision or monthly period. Let's use the right word for this. It's
Or the red
menstruation.
lady.
Please, red, yes, red lady, yeah, is the right word. Menstruation. Let's keep saying it. And menses is not a mess, as I said before. It's healthy. It's a normal process. It only means that, oh, you're not in a reproductive stage of life, and we should all try. We all need to work towards making menstruation a normal part of life by 2030, which is like the major thing we're working on this year for the Menstrual Hygiene Day, which is coming up on the 28th of May, 2022. And we at BrenCare Foundation for this year, we are celebrating this day with a road to work to create awareness about menstrual hygiene management, menstrual health, and to debug some of these myths that are associated with menstrual hygiene, menstrual health. And also, we're going to Nigeria prisons because we believe, oh, this gets inclusion. These girls also menstruate because they commit a crime does not make them less. So we should also create time to visit women and girls in jail. We should create time to visit the less privileged, create time to talk to also those that just like Madonna said before, those with physical disabilities, also include and all our planning that has to do with menstrual hygiene, health, and management. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So there's something we do here on the show as we close. We give 30 seconds to each of our guests to greet and appreciate organizations, individuals who have been supportive of the work they do, because we know that without this support from different angles, they can't be where they are today. We sometimes don't remember to celebrate people, allies, and people who have always been there for us, even in our weak ends and times when we just feel, you know what, I'm tired of all of these, I want to quit. There are people who are there as our support mechanisms. So I'll start again with Madonna. 30 seconds to greet organizations, individuals who have been supportive, and then I'll come to Rachel to also do that, and then we'll wrap up the show.
Okay, I just want to say a big thank you to BrenCare Foundation. They have been amazing in promoting menstrual hygiene management, and I hope to continue to work with them. I want to say big shout out to IYAFP, UNFPA, UNICEF. I've all done projects with them concerning health and hygiene of young people. I want to say a big shout out to my family. They've always been there for me, encouraging and supporting my friends, Rachel, Monday, Goodness, Jojo. The line is really long. Caesar, Brenda again, and every other person. Thank you so much, and I hope we can continue on this journey and this lovely experience together.
Rachel.
All right, so thank you very much for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. So I want to give a very big shout out to BrenCare Foundation team. You are amazing. The work you do for young people in Cross River State as regards menstrual hygiene management is really, really mind blowing. Keep it up. Shout out to IFFPA, Tertiary for Family Planning, UNICEF, UNFPA. Shout out to my family. You've really been a support system because I travel a lot and you've really been supportive, encouraging me and giving me all the morale I need. Shout out to my friend Madonna, which on this show with me. Shout out to Uche, Caesar, and my amazing Edie, Brenda Efium. Like she's really, really someone that boasts you and tell you, oh, you can do it. She believes in everything you do. Shout out to the Edu Yala team project that I'm here in Yala working with them. They are all amazing. Shout out Goodness, shout out Che, shout out Isaac, like shout out to all of you out there. And shout out to all the women and girls who believe that menstruation is a normal process and will continue to advocate for menstrual health and hygiene to be reduced and for to be accessible by every young person and every young woman. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much. And thanks to everyone who joined us. To Professor Leroy, thank you so much. You're an amazing, amazing person. Thanks for always being there for us here on the show. Sometimes too, people watch the show 6, 7 hours, 8 hours after because of the time zone. So yeah, keep the conversation going on. The comment section is there. Do remember to drop your comments and questions because we'll be bringing back Rachel and Madonna next week, Saturday, God willing, for us to talk about some other angles that we didn't do today, and then also take up new aspects of menstrual hygiene. I want to thank everyone who's joined us. Remember to like all our social media handles. It's at Shagalinku TV. For YouTube, also remember to click on the notification button so that when we come live again, you will get some notifications and join in the conversation. I really, really want to thank my guests, Rachel and Madonna, for being there for us. Till I see you all on the next episode of the show. My name is Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari. And remember to share this video around. It will still be here after the live stream, so you can still share, watch, drop your comments, and let's know what you think about the topic and how you think Shagalinku can make it better for you all. From all of us here in Shagalinku TV, thank you all and have a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye-bye.